Hello everybody, my name is Alex. Welcome to my Persona Theory video regarding some of the games and what types of themes they may have to the 7 Deadly Sins. Now, a lot of you are probably wondering what the 7 Deadly Sins are, and they're actually a religious type of thing. I can't really give you a detailed description of what the 7 Deadly Sins are, but I'm going to go over what I think a few of the actual what I think some of these sins that are related to Persona 3, Persona 4, and Persona 5, maybe. I'm just going to make a prediction on Persona 5 just based off the actual trailer, and I'm going to just talk about that now. The thing you're going to be seeing in this video is mainly going to be some scenes of how to prove my point, I guess, and how to explain what I'm talking about. So the first things first I want to talk about with the 7 Deadly Sins in Persona is that I personally find that I'm going to go with Persona 5, the first one, because it feels that Persona 5 would probably be the easiest one to explain. Now I'm thinking the one of the sins of the 7 Deadly Sins that is related to Persona 5 is probably going to be greed. And the reason why I'm saying greed is mainly based off the introduction. We have a masked protagonist. He is in a black cape. He's jumping through walls, breaking through, jumping, and then basically doing some stealth tactics, and and it looks like he's a theft. And we also have the descriptions from other sources where the people from Persona have also said that there's a possibility he's a thief, and there's a possibility he could be a normal student, which is basically what I think is going to be going on. I think that's one of the only things Atlas has leaked about the main character, and I feel as though he's probably going to be definitely being a thief, and I think some of the actual gameplay of the game will be revolved around thief, and basically kind of, not really thief, but some of the dungeons might possibly be from that or whatever. So I'm going to make a separate video based on what I think will happen in Persona 5, but I don't. Now, so I feel as though it's going to be related to greed, mainly because of the fact that from the trailer we get the fact that he could be a theft, and if you're a theft or a thief, basically, you're basically kind of in need of something, or you're greedy for something, and so basically that's my basic synopsis of it. I think that's the easiest way to say that and to explain the Persona 5 one. Now the other two, Persona 3 and Persona 4, is going to be a little bit more difficult. I actually have to find the message of what my friends were actually debating of the, what's it called? I'm going to cut till I figure out where I'm at. Alright, so as for Persona 4, I think it's probably going to be around envy. And another thing that the reason why I think it could possibly be envy. Now I could be wrong on this one, but this is just something that I particularly see. Is that some of the scenes when in the game where you're meeting the characters and some of the characters that die, and then, for example, when you first go into the TV world, and so when you and not really the first time, but the second time when you're going in to figure out more details, I'm pretty sure that when you go in there and then when they enter in there and then we meet Junpei's shadow, and also kind of Saki Konishi's shadow, a lot of it is based off of possibly even self-loathing. With Saki Konishi, her family was losing sales of her business because, because of Junes, and then she worked at Junes, and then everyone hated her, so there's something like that. I'll have to pick the video up on the screen so you can see more of what I'm talking about. But, basically another thing, Junpei is not Junpei, I'm getting everyone confused. Yosuke, the reason why I think it could be envy is how he envied when he used to live in the city and there was things to do, and now he's out in the sticks, and that was when his shadow was telling him what he was debating wrong. And a lot of it is just a lot of self-loathing, because when you're facing yourself, there's a lot of things you don't like about yourself that you don't want to admit. But once you get down to it, you have to face whatever that you don't like about yourself and keep moving forward with your life. And that's where I think of the envy is coming into play. And the self-loathing is another way you could describe envy. And it's basically just the matter of fact that when they're facing themselves to get their personas, a lot of the stuff that is going on is a lot of things that they hate about themselves and how other people view them. And I feel as though envy is just like, and some of these guys wish they could have a different life. Like Yukiko, for example, sometimes there was points in the game where she had a different life and was not a part of the inn, so she wouldn't be so busy and she could do other things. And she, like, for example, she wanted to run away with a prince or something from the, what's it called, her dungeon. Now, another thing that I would like to talk about is, I think I got Persona 4 basically done. So Persona 3 I think is possibly the hardest one to explain. Me and my friends that have deducted this theory personally find it to be sloth. The reason why we're saying sloth is generally meaning you're lazy or you're depressed, and a lot of things is just going downhill. So the best way I can describe this one is the fact that with Sloth, and I feel as though the main character, if you look at his background at the start of the game, he basically has a very bad past. His parents died in an accident when he was in 1999, and it's around 2009 he's been moving from place to place. He's a really depressed guy, and when he's doing all of his missions with C's, he's really just has no purpose of what he's doing until later down the road when he wants to actually save the world. And he basically, I don't know, like, and then another thing I want to talk about here with this is that a lot of the it's more so Sloth, that not just the main character, but a lot of the other characters in the series, and a lot of the NPCs, and a lot of things like apathy syndrome. A lot of people with apathy syndrome, or a lot of people, like, I think the major key thing that I want to talk about is the fall. The major thing that I think that definitely shows the sloth part of this game is that it's generally at the end of the game, kind of near when you meet Nyx. A lot of people were talking, well, Nyx was particularly talking about at the end of the fight, once you defeat him, and then he brings, like, well, not really after you defeat him. You don't really defeat him. It's before his second phase form. It's pretty sure he says something along the lines of, if there were more people like you, maybe the fall could have been prevented. And that being said, a lot of and there's another scene in the game where people, well, when someone said people want the fall to happen, they wanted the fall to happen, so it came, and they begged for it because they were too tired of their lives. And that's another thing. Sloth is another way of being depressed. So in other words, a lot of these people could be very depressed, and what they do is they mourn for the fall to happen, so the end of the world comes, and then they don't have to deal with everything anymore. So that's where I get the sloth part to it. But another thing I could possibly see it as being wrath, only because of the end of the world type of feel at the end of the game with Nyx and how he's bringing about the end of the world. But I personally find the sloth being more so tied to that. And yeah, so I personally I haven't played the first two games in a while, so I'll make a separate video on what I feel as though those two games actually represent the Seven Deadly Sins. But for now, I got the major games that a lot of people like done in this video. If you disagree with anything I said, comment down below and comment and get into it. Really, I'll talk to you guys about your ideas, and possibly if you think there's anything different about what I could say and how there might be a different sin to it. And if it becomes disproven, it's whatever. This is just a theory video, so a lot of theories do become disproven. But if you really agree with me, comment down below saying why and stuff, because I want to actually talk to you guys and get your opinions on the theory. And if you enjoy the video, please leave a like. If you want more Persona videos and a lot of Persona 5 updates and like news and just stuff that I'd like to see from Persona 5, just a lot of Persona type of content, subscribe down for more. I'll have a load of them soon. And anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a fantastic day. And make sure to like the video if you enjoyed it. So I'll see you guys next time.